Hey, everybody. Welcome into Day by Day with Alex and Andrew. I'm James. How are you guys doing? Happy Tuesday.
Happy
Excited.
Tuesday.
Tuesday already. That bye week was rough, not having a game. So now it's like, all right, we just had a game and now we got one in 4 days. So,
And the team leaves early, which we'll get to here in a bit. I feel like we'll get to the game eventually. We have some things to talk about first that I think maybe a few of us have. We got something. We have some grievances to file.
strong
I
opinions.
think.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
We have
yes.
some strong opinions. So we'll get to those. You guys can find us on characterchronicles.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Give us a like if you think you shouldn't DM a player. Subscribe to the show. Helps more people find us. Let's start there. Again, we got some grievances. Let's talk about DMing players or maybe even tagging players. I think it was Henry Lutovsky today in his press time. He said he's been getting some DMs from people, like angry DMs. I think I know where you guys are at on this, but what are your thoughts on sending a direct message to a college athlete? I'm assuming in a negative way, but I would just say really anyway, any kind of DM.
I mean, there'd be rare circumstances, right? Like maybe you want to, maybe you know them personally, or you have a connection somehow through family. You want to support them in some way, but yeah, definitely not to critique.
Yeah. Hey, I noticed you started following me for some reason, or your parent follows me. We do this show. I would love for you to come on and talk about your experience as a student athlete, talk about the game. But in terms of critiquing their play, got to be off limits, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, that is off limits. Like,
I mean, it's like, is it? How irrational is it to do that?
But hold on, guys. I mean, we have to be very careful about how we criticize this too, right? Because we do occasionally come on here and say XYZ player has to be better.
Yeah.
We do that in a professional manner. Odds are they're not watching this show.
Nope.
Some
of their parents do.
There's obviously a line that is crossed that Henry Lutovsky brought up.
Yeah.
That being said, like as a fan, I'm not DMing them. If you want to, if anybody, like we're gonna get into some stuff tonight. Any player that we talk about tonight, if you want to reach out and say, "Hey, I don't like what you said," I will own that. I will
100%.
I will talk about what I said. Try and add the nuance to, hey, I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm not saying you suck, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
I'm critiquing individual plays. I actually think you're a great player. All of that stuff.
Yep.
But I'll handle the criticism from fans. I'll handle criticism from players.
Yep.
Don't DM the players. It is an incredibly bad look that got brought up in a press conference. Incredibly bad look.
Yeah. I actually had a interesting NIL thought. I think if you're a player and you want to allow people to DM you, they have to pay to DM you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, pay me. You can critique me and send me messages, but you got to pay me.
Every player needs a QR code on their helmet.
Yep. There we go.
I mean, I've had some parents like stuff I've put out. We've all had that, right? Like a parent likes something, even retweets, comments. Like we've seen that. So we know that even like lowly people like us who are not media members, that stuff gets found, right? And so I think it was a volleyball parent who liked a tweet of mine, and it just reminded me. And again, like we're all professional, even in our tweets. Like we talk about stats, we talk about plays, we exchange ideas, but it hit me in that moment, like, man, like the weight of your words matters, whether it's a DM or a tweet. So like, be careful what you put out there and do it in a way that can be constructive without belittling a player, even a coach. And so it's something you have to pay attention to. And as a fan base, it's embarrassing. You're right. When a player goes to a press conference, is like, hey, I'm getting some DMs. Now, who knows? It could be another fan base posing as Husker fans. It could be. You don't know.
Now we're throwing tinfoil hats on this show. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready for this tonight.
But it's if it's our fans, and if anybody's watching the show who does that, like you probably need some help. Like, seriously, like if you're doing that, if you're going to that extent, you need some help.
Can I add on this too, James? It's not DMs. It is just the social media space in general. I mean,
100%.
I don't know if you guys saw Michael Rose-Ivy's tweet about insufferable Nebraska fans.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think necessarily any of us are at that level of following, but when you hit a certain level of follow, like, you have an inherent responsibility.
You do
to be
above board,
to have a certain decorum when you are talking about this team.
It's a good way to put it.
And there's a couple of accounts that we've talked about, like, we got to get away from the mid-game crash outs, guys. We have to. These big accounts have to get away from these crash outs. Like, and I'm not going to put anyone on blast. There is an account that I'm thinking of pretty specifically. I've had this conversation with him. I know you have too, James. Like, because those accounts, when you have 5, 10, 15,000 followers, like, those end up in the stratosphere a lot more. A lot more. It
does.
Perfect point here, James. Like, when I was tweeting about the offensive line, and I had that big long thread after my 3 a.m. up with the baby thought process, the amount of responses that I said that I received that said, I know what I saw, my eyes tell a difference, blah blah, all those responses. You know what I really wanted to say to those people, but I didn't, is, what a weird way for you to tell me that A, you don't know how to analyze a game, or B, you need a new optometrist. Like, I was Googling optometrists from anywhere I could see these people were from and ready to send it back in the comments. Like, I was. That's old me. But I was ready.
Way to practice some self-restraint. I do think you're right. Kind of my thought was like the 5,000 follower threshold. When you get above that, you are caught up in the algorithm, and everyone finds your stuff. And so then when you crash out in the middle of a game, and I want to talk about that. I want to go back to Michigan State here in a little bit, because I've had now 3 days to kind of reflect. And yeah, that middle 8 was bad, but I'm like, my gosh, I'm so proud of that team for how they won the game and how they closed it out. But if you would have looked and you'd scroll through Twitter in the second quarter, oh, it was ugly. Oh my gosh, it was ugly.
We had some of those from the fumble against Holy Cross, or Houston Christian.
Houston Christian,
yeah. So I'll play a little devil's advocate, because I think some of this, I know for a fact, comes from, well, it used to be, I'm not sure if he's doing it anymore, but one very prominent former Husker, one Tommy Frazier, would put out at halftime, all right, Husker fans, give me your thoughts, unfiltered thoughts, or whatever.
Do we know? I think. Do we know why he did that?
I don't know.
He only did that during a particular era.
Did he? I don't know if it went back to Mike Riley, or was this just under the last coach? Okay, well, then that does make more sense.
Alex, right?
I don't know, man. Like, admittedly, guys, I was not, like, up until like around COVID. I had Twitter, but I was not like heavily invested in follow it. Like, I was not an avid user.
Same.
In fact, the account I have now, I actually deleted my old account because I was in the ultra political algorithm that I don't even know how I got there. And so I deleted my old account and started over.
You don't want to be in that algorithm.
Right.
Yeah. So, like,
I'm pretty sure
haven't been a part of this until post-COVID.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tommy he doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah. No, you're right, James. I think there was a tone to it. But at the same time, I mean, can we say maybe a former players kind of reserve the right for some of that criticism? However, it welcomes
100%.
it
For
welcomes
sure.
some of that vitriol, that we want to avoid.
I do think, like, to your point, though, that a former player doing it, but talking in general terms is a little different than these accounts that, they're like, hey, burn it all down.
Yeah.
Donovan needs to be fired at halftime. Like, that was a tweet that went out.
Yeah.
And I just, and then you know what I see tonight, guys? This tweet comes across my timeline, and I just retweeted it. The best average time to pressure allowed among FBS teams. Nebraska's tied for 11th, meaning they give their quarterbacks the most time to a pressure allowed. So if I'm reading that correctly.
I said it to you guys the other day, right? Like, if Bill Connolly's numbers are correct and Dylan is going into Michigan State 110th in the country in time
how
to
long
release
he holds
the ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't say that the offensive line doesn't block. Like,
no,
you can't have both.
So I want to come back to that.
Okay.
Because I know you want to talk about that too. But I want to talk about the other thing there's one other thing.
I was just going to say that ties into what Holgerson said today. So yeah, we'll cover that. Yep.
So let's talk about how early you should arrive for a game in a different time zone. Now we're going to get to Maryland. We're going to actually talk about football. We're going to talk about football eventually. We'll get there. We'll talk about the game and our predictions and all that. But Nebraska announced yesterday, hey, we're going a day early, which to me logically makes sense because there's an hour time change, and the old adage is about 1 day for every hour your body clock changes. And there's people who were just up in arms and like, what is going on? This is so stupid. And I'm like, man, I drove a round trip to the Omaha airport today to drop somebody off and then back to Lincoln. And I was spent. And I was in the car for 3 hours back and forth. And I'm like, and I'm not even playing in a game. And I'm tired. Can you imagine flying across country, being out of routine? We just saw Penn State go, I know it was 2 time zones or 3 time zones, got spanked going across country. So I don't know why this is a big deal. They could do whatever they want. It's Matt Rule's program.
Yeah.
Couple things. First off, the data just from win-loss perspective last year is there. Not just against the spread. Win-loss. It's there.
Yep.
Like, there's evidence that the travel impacts you. But on top of that, there's so much scientific data between, being locked in a plane at 30,000 feet and how it affects blood flow.
What it does your body.
All of that. And, I know it doesn't affect everybody, but I'm telling you right now, I don't care what kind of plane you're flying on. Everybody on that flight that is over 6'2" is going to be in pain when they get off of it. Like, I'm 6'6". I would much rather do a 12-hour drive than a 6-hour flight any day of the week.
Yep.
I have looked at taking trains instead of flying, guys. I can get up, I can move.
Really?
Yeah. It's the same time, and it's like the same amount of money.
But you can get up, you can walk around.
Yeah.
I'm curious, maybe people put in the comments why anyone even has an opinion on this. Like,
right?
Why does it bother somebody that they're going early? I don't know. Like,
why is Jim Rose saying anything about it?
Right.
Jim came to mind. Yeah, I saw Jim's tweet.
I posted my response to that in a group chat.
Okay.
And I said the discourse over the travel arrangements is so effing stupid. I'm in rare form today, guys. I'm pretty fired up today.
It's all right. And you had a pharmacy problem today, so that gets the best of us. Yeah.
The response I got though was grade A. Off-season style brain rot arguments in the middle of the season, and that's exactly what this is.
I think Jim deleted his tweet. It's not on his timeline. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
He deleted it. Good for him. Should have owned it, but glad he was like, yeah, this is
not
dumb.
deleting my response though.
So first of all, I don't know. Is there any NCAA guidelines on like rules on how early you can arrive?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's maybe going to cost a little bit more money.
They're there for a week for bowl games.
Yeah.
So it's basically you're paying for one more day of food and lodging. You don't pay for more airfare.
And money's not an issue. So
money's not an issue.
Sure, Matt Rule said they send their chefs out a day early. Like they bring their chefs. Like, okay, so the chefs are going out an extra day early, but they would have if they flew out on Friday, they would have gone out on Thursday. Like, I think one of the more interesting comments I saw was, remember this when Dannon is asking for money. Guess what? If they come out and they win handedly, you're not going to complain anymore.
No. And take it even further, Rule comes out and says, the extra day contributed to more rest and more camaraderie or something. Who knows? But
you know what, guys? I'm not really too willing to, but I'll pretend I am. I'm willing to hear the complaints about doing it this week, right? Like, hey, you got an early afternoon game, blah, 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 blah. Like, you don't need to do it. Okay. But think about what happens next week. Next week's a short week. So now you don't have all the time to acclimate to that travel, and then you come back and you're in Minnesota on a short week. Like, it's not just a one game thing. This is like looking ahead down the road.
Yep.
I'm livid that this is a discussion.
This is the week. This is the week to do it. And you think about cost, it's like they play 4 road games a year this year. 4 road games this year, and then the Kansas City game, which I think they took a bus down to. I don't think they flew, if I remember correctly, because
I believe they didn't take a bus.
Bonding on the bus. So they have 4 road games. They're doing this one time that we know of. Maybe they'll do it when they go to play USC. Who knows?
UCLA.
UCLA. But it's like, this is, I don't know. They might have to do it to play Penn State, because I think it takes like 3 days to get to Penn State anyway.
Right.
Well, and that's the other thing. In Maryland, too, it's supposed to be an hour drive to where they're going. It's
not in D.C. No.
Also, I don't hear anybody complaining about when the basketball team has like a Sunday, Wednesday trip to the East Coast and they're there the whole time. Like, nobody says anything about that. Like,
you think about the operation. I mean, we're talking hundreds of people here.
Yeah.
Right. So the logistics is like, let's get out there early. Guys, think about like your own family going on vacation.
You plan a whole day for travel.
Right. You drive. If you're like, hey, let's say we're in Lincoln and we're driving to Denver, and you think, oh, we're going to get there and do something that day. No, you're not. You are toast. You're just like, all I want to do is get to the hotel and go to bed.
Yep.
And that's just you going on vacation. Sorry, Andrew, go ahead.
We haven't taken a trip with our son, but my wife and I, ever since we've dated, like every trip is like, get to the hotel, order dinner. Does not matter.
That's it. Yep.
No, all I was going to say was they've been sitting home for 40 some days. Like, so what's taking off one more day? But package all this, what we're saying, combined with the DMing players and that stuff, like, it is really cringe and annoying how entitled we can get as fans to, one, want to privately message players our thoughts and opinions, 2, want to judge and criticize one extra day of travel. Like, just chill out, fans. I don't know what else to say. I hear you,
Was
Alex.
it bothering you in any way that the team
Right.
left a day early? Like,
Right.
you're not hanging out with them.
It's like,
Yep.
what
You're not
kinda-
making them dinner.
man, like, get mad about something else that like really matters.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things in the world to get mad about. When Nebraska football leaves to go play a game is not one of them. I can't believe it.
Get mad about the traffic in Lincoln right now because of all the construction. I was
Oh
down
my
there last
gosh.
week. It was awful.
Oh my gosh. Oh, terrible. Okay, let's shift gears here. Let's go back to Michigan State before we look at Maryland. Want to know if you guys have any parting thoughts. Again, mine was I was so proud of the way the team finished. I think Dylan finished 7 of 8 or 8 for 9. And they closed out the game. Like, you look at the landscape of college football and you see teams go down and teams lose. And we talked about like Penn State, right? Losing a game, you should not lose. You can't lose if you want to salvage your season.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Nebraska finished strong, and that's what we've been asking for years. Don't let a little blip in the second or third quarter ruin you. And for years, it ruined this team, and they couldn't recover. It was like you were watching a perpetual train wreck for the rest of the game, and then it would carry on to the next game.
Yeah.
And here they rebounded in the last 17 minutes of the game. They had 184 yards of offense, and they scored 24 unanswered points. I'm like, yeah, the second quarter stunk. It was the worst quarter I've ever seen, probably watching Nebraska football. I've been watching since 1992. It was that bad. But they didn't, and this is what Dana said today. He said it sucked, but it didn't kill the team, or it didn't hurt the team.
Yeah.
And I'm just proud that they finished strong.
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
Go ahead, Andrew.
We scored 38 points. You know, you listen to Dana today, we ran 59 plays and we still
52.
scored 38 points. 52. We still scored 38. We left how many drives out on their side of the 50 without scoring, and we still scored 30. Like, we
You guys,
still won by 11.
it should have been. It should have been 52 to 21.
Yeah. So that, like, when you really break things down and you hear the coaches I felt more confident listening to Holgorsen. He knows what went wrong. He said Dylan knows what went wrong. Like, again, we talked about this after the Michigan game. Fixable mistakes. These are fixable things, and we'll continue to see the growth. And I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm happy that we, again, closed the door, finished the deal. It's like you said, James. You used to be able to, just 2-3 years ago, turn off the game at halftime and you knew how it was going to finish in some kind of heartbreak.
Even if you had the lead.
Yeah.
Even if you did. What I loved about Holgorsen today, he said when it was tied, when we tied the game 21-21, he knew the game was over.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a confidence Nebraska football has not had in a long time.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt the same way. It was 21-14, and I was like, this is not good. And then when we when we hit the pass to Barney, and then Emmett, what is it, 20, whatever, what it was, 23, 21 yard run for touchdown.
Yeah.
I legitimately sat up and I was like, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. And they did.
I know you guys aren't going to believe me, but I wasn't even worried when they took the lead. Like, I saw guys running open. Dylan just wasn't squeezing the trigger at times. And Dana said as much today. And I think if you sat down and asked Dylan, like, are there a few plays you want back? He'd absolutely say yes. But I knew they would figure that out. Like, I think one of the more telling things from Holgorsen today was like, hey, we had a turnover and a great punt return. And both times I called 2 plays to score. One was a bad call by me, but I was calling plays to score from that spot.
Yeah.
Like, you can it's different, right? I've done like 3 rewatches now because I've been in this offensive line battle. But like, I can see the aggressiveness in the play call on those. And that is something that I've been like begging for years, is to hey, let's go for it.
Let's be aggressive.
And just because they did, like, the fact that they were trying to, the execution, the lack of execution, yeah, there's a problem there. But the fact that they were trying to gives me so much more confidence. Like,
Yeah.
I think you guys know at this point, like, I'm all in on Dana. Like, even if he's not running his natural style, like, he's still learning some different things. And today, I agree with him. I feel good about the running back room. Like, I thought both those backups looked good. They had limited carries, but he also said we were hoping for over 70 plays. We got 52. Emmett's playing so good. Emmett's third in the conference in rushing and 17 in total yards from scrimmage. Like, can't just take him out to take him out.
I'm over the well, Emmett can't take the workload. What workload? Like what? He's not hurt.
19.
He's not even nicked up. He seems to have fresh energy throughout the game. And then you have a game like this. Yeah, we're in the middle. Like, yeah, it's not just, he's not getting a lot of carries. It's we had 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Pick on a first play. It's like I liked in limited action what I saw from Nelson and Mosey. I think if you gave Nelson a whole series, people would shut up and then be like, okay, he's a good second back. But, it's like, yeah, like I still think Emmett should have had more carries, but we just couldn't. You get to 70 plays, he's probably going to have 18 to 20 carries. We just didn't get there.
Yep.
All right, now I'm going to throw one at you guys that I didn't like from the game, and I'm in the minority here. I hated the design of Harburg handing off to Dylan to turn around and hand it off to Emmett. Like,
what you hate about it?
I don't think it ever makes sense to hand off to your non-running quarterback. Like,
because there's no threat that he's actually going to run.
Flip it. Have him hand it off to Harburg.
I actually thought the same thing.
Like,
so I'm with you. I like the play design. Just have Dylan take the snap.
Dylan almost got lit up by their edge on that. Like, he was there.
Yeah.
That one just doesn't make sense to me from play design.
I wonder if he was in there because there was a possibility of like a little pop pass to the tight end over top. But my thought would be, man, run that play with Harburg, and Harburg could do it too.
Yep.
But run it with Harburg and Nelson and Emmett. And then you actually have 3 runners in the game. But yeah, I love the design. I agree with you on that.
I didn't mind it because it worked. Right. Like, now,
I like the design. I don't like the personnel alignment.
They could never run it again. You can't do it again.
No.
It's the unstoppable play that you get to run one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked a couple things Dana said today. Just one, his tone. Like, you don't hear. I mean, he really you hear coordinators take ownership, but it was refreshing to even hear him say, like, how he said, "Hey, I made a bad call there," because in the midst of all the criticism of his line and of Dylan, and he's also showing that he's one and the same with these guys. Like, we all have a job to do, and we all make mistakes. We all go through lulls, whatnot. So I liked that, and then it was really interesting how he talked about Isaiah Hunter, and I wanted to get him involved. Like, a lot of times you hear the quarterback say, "I want to get a guy involved," but the coordinator was like, I'm watching who the hot hand is. He's like, I got him the ball. Like, it was interesting to hear him say, I got him the ball type of thing. So,
well, and I also liked how he said he went and asked Dylan too.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you think?
Who's the hot hand right now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then
Hunter,
he probably had real conversations with Dylan. Dylan knows he didn't have his best game, and Holgerson said he knows he didn't have his best game. So we also have to remember Dylan's still young, and it was like he kind of mentioned how his head was spinning a little bit, or he kind of got you could see him visibly flustered, whether it was he was mad at the play calls or himself or lack of blocking, whatever it might be. He did seem, and Rule said the same thing, he was angry, and so they just had to kind of channel that the right way. Holgerson said he needs to continue to handle it professionally, so those conversations are being had too, and there'll be growth and development from Raiola going forward off that. So
yeah, I was delightfully surprised. Not surprised. it was refreshing to hear Holgerson talk the way he did. I felt better coming out of that game after hearing him talk, just because of how honest he was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the way he talked about Dylan was, Rule doesn't talk about Dylan that way. And so it actually, it made me even more confident in the relationship that Dana and Dylan have. That Dana could just say, hey, yeah, his head was, I think that was the quote, his head was spinning. And I think that's when I texted you guys in the group chat, like, wow, like this is insightful and this is really good.
Yeah.
He's not blowing smoke. He's not trying to make anybody feel good. He's also not belittling anyone. He was just saying, yeah, like you have games like that.
Yep. Hey,
he wasn't.
I say Mahomes had a game like that last night. Not to throw the comparison in there, but even the best of the best is going to struggle, throw picks, like get confused, like get angry. So
happens.
Anyway, yep.
Now let's talk a little defense. I really loved what John Butler had to say today, and just again, hats off to Butler and the defense. They were incredible. I'm looking here. Did you guys see that Nowerney had 6 QB pressures at Michigan, and that was first. I'm sorry, Michigan State. That was first among all Big Ten defenders from this week.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's coming into his own. And again, I look at that defensive 2 deep and really who's on the field at the same time. And I'm like, we have 6 to 8 freshmen and sophomores on the field at any one time.
Yeah.
Also to add off of that, James, we'll flip this when we talk offense too. This is from Husker Online. For as maligned as Nebraska's pass rush was following the loss to Michigan State, the defensive line accounted for 15 of the Huskers' season-high 20 pressures. 15
awesome.
pressures. Like, that's outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to, like, when we talked to Michael Rose-Ivy, like, the defensive line against Michigan wasn't bad. What you saw on Saturday with Michigan State is the next 2 levels upped their game. And you saw them playing team football. Everybody was flying to the ball.
Take away Deshaun Singleton's interceptions. Take those away. Still his best game ever as a Husker.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. He was all over the place.
Yep.
And Javin Wright.
You saw Javin Wright. You saw Shavers. Merritt was in the game a couple times. Like, defensive backs were making tackles. Mm-hmm. Guthrie, I mean, the guy, like, they were flying around. And so then now you have, 12 tackles for loss? Is that what you just said, Alex? 12 tackles for loss?
I didn't say anything about tackles for loss. I'm looking for that. I don't see it anywhere near.
When you have that many tackles for loss, it's not, unless the defensive line is making all those plays, which is rare. It's like, everyone is running to the ball. And even the commentators, as bad as they were during the game, they still noticed at times, like, this defense is flying around and swarming to the ball.
We got to shout out Cam Lenhart too, because I don't feel like we hear his name much. And I think Butler,
he had a good game.
Him too, but he had that big sack.
That was my guy for the bounce back year.
Yeah.
So he's highlighted here in this article too. Cam Lenhart. I'm in the linebacker section now. Hold on. Cam Lenhart had his best performance of the season: 3 hurries, a sack, and 3 stops.
That's great.
Just unreal performance from a group that sucks. Like,
right.
And that's the thing. I mean, USC's defense is nothing to write home about, but Michigan State moved the ball fairly easily on USC's defense. And so if people, and we heard these comparisons, well, Nebraska's a lot like USC, kind of a porous defense and maybe an explosive offense. I'm like, I don't think our defense is anywhere near what USC's is. And I mean that in a good sense. I think Nebraska's defense is pretty good. I still get a kick out of people saying, well, if Nebraska played Cincinnati right now, Sorsby would carve them up. No, I think actually it would be about the same. I think he'd run for 125 yards and he'd throw for about 65.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what every other starting quarterback against Nebraska has done 5 games into the year.
Yeah, and I'm, again, going back to group chat discussions post-game, like, oh, the backup carved us up. He came in, threw a touchdown. Okay, well, you didn't expect him to throw the ball on his first snap.
Yeah.
Got a miss coverage there. But the last drive of the game, that's
We were up
garbage
3
time.
scores.
Garbage time. We were playing prevent.
Now let's define garbage time, because I got into a conversation a couple weeks ago. Garbage time to me is if it's 3 scores or more.
With under 4 minutes.
Because if it's 2 scores, right, you could score and get an onside kick and then tie the game. So that's not garbage time. But 3 scores, the game is functionally over.
I would even add, like, in this game, garbage time started a little bit sooner because Michigan State was out of timeouts before 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. So you're looking at 3 scores, 6 minutes left, 6.5. It's over. The game's over.
Especially when you're not getting explosive plays.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, Aiden Childs was getting a lot of praise prior to the game during game week. Even a couple notable Husker writers had said they'd take him over Bryce Underwood at that moment. So, he was getting his love, and there was a little bit of fear about, okay, what's this guy going to do with his arm and his feet? And they handled him. So,
is it crazy to say that I might not disagree with taking him over Underwood right now in this moment?
To me, they were the same player. Is that bad?
You take freshman versus experience, maybe. But
what I found
Childs has just shown the ability to connect on the deep ball.
What I found really interesting, did they call one design run for Childs? I don't remember one.
I don't either, and I am surprised. Yeah.
How could you not call a design run? I get that's not. I'm blanking on the coach's name for Michigan State. I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. Jonathan Smith.
Yes.
That's not his forte, right? Like he's not. He is West Coast. It's Mike Riley's offense. It's the same offense. So they're not going to do that. But I'm like, how could you not call some design runs for this guy? Because he's pretty dynamic.
Yeah.
With his feet.
I think they do more RPO stuff with him, because they had designed rollouts.
Keepers.
Yeah, but rollouts. It's like designed rollouts. If it's their takeoff, and I just think the Spies did a really good job of staying home. Now he broke free on a couple. Like Deshaun is going to want the one back where he had him dead to rights, but he took the high shoulder instead of the low shoulder. That ended up leading to a touchdown. But again, that's all stuff we can work on. People forget that Deshaun only played like 1 game last year at Oklahoma.
He's really been coming on. Man,
he's good.
All right, let's talk Maryland. I have not watched much of Maryland. What I know is they blew a 20-point lead in the 4th quarter at home, and they lost the game. I know that their strength, ironically, feels like it's never been this way under Mike Locksley, is their defense. But their offense has struggled.
They got a young, fairly dynamic quarterback, as far as he can hurt you in a couple ways too. So,
Nebraska just needs to accept that, apart from maybe Northwestern and Minnesota, that's just what they're going to see.
That's who we're going to face. Yeah.
In Nebraska, we just got to stop talking about it, because that's what's on the table every week. Like, hey, they got a mobile quarterback. They got a Guess what? We just saw 2 in a row, and then we saw Sorsby, who now is playing better than all of them.
You've seen 3. You beat 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I would add, the reason you lost the other game was not because of the quarterback. He had 1 run
there,
but that wasn't the main reason. Yeah. Was it contributing? Sure. It wasn't the main reason you lost that game. So there's this narrative, and I think it's perpetuated by fans on social media and the actual media. Okay, running quarterbacks are going to get theirs. We used to have them, and even in games we lost, you would see Jamal Lord run for 175 yards. It doesn't mean you're going to win the game.
But it helps when you hold them to 70 yards passing like we've been doing. So,
but it helps when you hold them to 70 yards passing. And you have dynamic special teams that can block punts and return punts, kick kickoffs out of the end zone. We have, was it -1 punt return yards given up against Michigan State? Like, there were some things you could nitpick with special teams, right? The wind, again, Archie, welcome to the Midwest. Yeah. Can't punt the ball very high. But other than that, like, I mean, our special teams, I can't say enough about our special teams. I don't know what Maryland's special teams are like. I don't know if they'll be able to match.
Teams. You need to stop talking about it. Yeah, because last time you jinxed it. I'm not going to.
Well, that's because I will never again have a oddly specific prediction that has anything to do with special teams.
Okay, thank you.
Fair? Is that fair?
Fair, yeah.
Sorry, Kyle Cunanan. My bad, man. Again, so I just think going into the game, like, yeah, teams say like, oh, this is a business trip. Okay, that's kind of cliche. You're better than Maryland. Maryland has played, the best team Maryland has played is Washington. And they lost at home.
Now, the one thing I'll say there, I think Washington's way better than they've gotten credit for up to this point. They played Ohio State pretty tough.
They did.
Maryland got out up 20-0. You can't get shell shocked like that to start. Hence, traveling a day early, maybe.
Yep. Got to come out fast.
Now, as much as I've defended the offensive line this week, that's all we've heard about is Maryland. Maryland brings us the pressure. They got dynamic edge rushers. They're good there.
So you have to think, though, Alex, like, based on what Dana said today, my gut says you're going to see a little bit of a different game plan, knowing what Maryland does well on defense.
Yeah, I think you're going to see kind of what I've expected to see all year, and just a lot of quick game. Slants, drags, mesh. I mean, they ran a couple of mesh plays in that second and third quarter that they just didn't get rid of the ball on, or a sack happened, or a bad snap, whatever it was. But I think they're just practicing that in their sleep. And you know what else? I said it for a variety of reasons in our chat, but I don't hate the idea of going no huddle a couple of times and, just letting Dylan ball. You don't have to snap the ball right away. Just don't let them sub. Don't let them sub to your personnel. And I like the idea, and we'll get more into this, but I like going no huddle right now, and taking away a ton of the pre-snap reads for Dylan, and just let him play football. Yeah. Let him get his confidence back 100%. Just, hey, you send in 2 plays, he gets, and you go with it.
Yeah, do you guys think, and again, not trying to belittle someone, but positively critique, do you think he's getting a little bit of an analysis paralysis? Is he thinking too much? Dylan, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think on Saturday that was part of it, because everything was going wrong, right? Yeah. So then the pressure is on him to be absolutely perfect. And I James, you posted the one where Hunter snapped off a route when it was a corner blitz. Like, I'm after the rewatch, I give Michigan State a lot of credit. They did some good stuff disguising what they were doing. A lot like Butler was doing to Michigan State. Like, a lot of their pre-snap looks are not what they ended up dropping into. And that corner blitz on that play that you shared today, that corner timed that perfectly. So maybe some hard count to see if you can get a better read. Just a couple of little things like that. But for the most part, I just think it was because things were going wrong and that's added pressure. And he wants so bad to make a play because he's a competitor.
Yep. Good part is it's on tape, so they'll assess it, they'll look at it, they'll practice it.
Yep. I think we talked about this on Saturday, but it's just a random thought. Maybe we didn't bring it up. Is it just me, or is every game that Nebraska plays against Michigan State weird?
Oh, every game.
So let's go back. And I know we're talking about Maryland, but I want to do this. So you got the bad punt game in East Lansing a few years back, right? We punted to the wrong side of the field. They take it back. They hadn't gotten a first down the entire second half. Previous to that, you have the 9-6 win in the snow when Nebraska didn't have any points until the fourth quarter. We kicked 3 field goals in 1 quarter. You go before that, you have the game where Brandon Riley runs out of bounds. I still think to this day, unprovoked.
Yeah,
we get the benefit of the call and win the game on a touchdown. You got the
2 years
Taylor
ago,
Martinez.
you have the Heinrich Harburg incomplete pass that they call the fumble.
Right?
Geez. Yep.
You got this is going way back. Taylor Martinez. This is on my birthday. This was on November 3rd. The birthday miracle. We go down and he throws it to, I think it was Tyjon Lindsey in East Lansing, and Jamal Turner.
Yeah.
Jamal Turner.
Yeah.
For the kind of one of those not really fade, but kind of a corner route in the end zone.
Yeah.
To win the game in East Lansing. Like
Nebraska,
Michigan State
punt return.
Remember,
remember Alonzo Moore pass interference in the end zone.
Yeah.
Nebraska and Michigan State plays some weird, wild games.
Yep.
Minnesota too.
Don't say that.
It's true. I feel like every game in this conference is weird.
Yeah.
Part of that is you never know what you're going to get from the officials at all. I stand on it as the worst officiated league in college football, and I don't think it's close.
There's no excuse for it either. I mean, second best, first best, I don't know, tied for the best league, biggest big time league. So
it's bad. Okay, well, let's do our predictions here. We're coming up on time. So oddly specific prediction. I cannot pick a special teams thing here. So oddly specifics. Andrew, you got yours?
Go, Alex. I got to think. And I'm not going to copy you.
We're doing this together now. Yeah.
I'm going to say Heinrich Harburg finds the end zone this week.
Good.
Didn't you say that last week?
No, I said Mosey.
That's right.
17
You're
yards
wrong
scamper.
about that. Yeah, you were wrong about that.
But I was right about the 0 punt return yards a few weeks ago.
You were.
Just because can't punt.
That's right. Yep. And I was at that game. It was actually very comedic watching them punt. Okay, for my oddly specific prediction, I'm going to say that Dylan actually has a good game, a bounce back game. His completion percentage is going to be 77%. 77%. I think he'll throw somewhere in the low to mid 200s.
Okay. I'm going to go because his name was brought up today and he was a little forgotten last week, but Dane Key, I'm going to give the guy 7 catches and 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
I was going to go 2 scores.
I take 3 touchdowns. All right. What's your prediction? Nebraska is favored by, I just had it. Nebraska is favored. 8. Yeah. Oh, wow. Did it? I'm on ESPN. I see 6.5 with the total at 48.5. What do you guys got?
Go ahead, Andrew.
We put up 38 last week in 52 plays. So yeah, we know we can put points on the board. Now I know one of those was special teams, but that
and
seems like
short
that
field
can,
after.
but that seems like that can happen any week now with the way Barney's balling, catching punts. But
Yeah, you also got a punt
uh,
return taken off the board.
you're right.
I did.
I'm gonna say Nebraska 42,
Whoa.
Maryland 27.
No way.
42,
I was gonna say 42-31.
No, jeez. Guys,
I'm gonna say Nebraska.
Maryland's defense is good.
Dylan's gonna be pissed.
He's gonna
Dylan's gonna be
wake up
pissed.
Trey Palmer.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna say Nebraska 38, Maryland 17.
Okay.
I think it's a 3-score game.
Okay, so my gut said I was sticking kind of to the spread, and I was like 27-21. But I have severe doubt after listening to both of you. I'm doubting myself. I'm if there's Kool-Aid in season, I'm drinking it. And so I'm gonna adjust my 27-21.
I think this is the lowest I've picked Nebraska to score, by the way. So take that with a grain of salt.
This is my lowest. I'm gonna. If I'm wrong and it actually is 27-21, I'll clip when I said 27-21 and I'll post that. But I'll go up a little bit and I'll say Nebraska 31 and Maryland 17. I'm actually going to bump them down. I think their offense will struggle. So 31-17 Nebraska. A 3-score win.
I was right last week. I said 38 for Nebraska. We scored 38.
You did. What did you say Michigan State would score?
What was the final? I was just off by
20.
30.
It was 38-27. Did you say 38-24?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty close. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the game. Should be a good one.
Fans are lucky we didn't get to talk about offensive line tonight.
Next week, we will. We're going to actually talk about how the offensive line did what the defensive line did last week. Flip the script, change the season. It's a new day. Everybody will be saying playoffs, except for us, because we're rational, logical people here on this podcast.
Playoffs.
I think that with Maryland's aggressiveness and speed, I think that we'll do some things that will throw them off balance. So we have to. We don't have a choice. All right. All right. Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Go Big Red.